Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Over the last few weeks, we've had some incredible conversations across our first 4 episodes with members in completely different seasons of their life. We've heard from busy parents juggling school, work, family. We've heard from newlyweds figuring out how to build training into their future, women navigating menopause, health challenges, and even GLP-1 medications the right way, and members who just needed a consistent community to keep them from starting and stopping over and over again. What ties all these stories together is one simple theme: showing up anyway. Not waiting for perfect, not falling into this all or nothing trap, but raising your floor, finding your community, and treating your training as a long-term retirement plan for life. So in this highlight reel, you'll get the best of those conversations, real people, real struggles, and the lessons that can help all of us stay consistent in the middle of life's chaos. Let's dive in.
I can kind of just say it's for me been a very slow, pretty steady, and more or less, I believe, fairly successful march away from this kind of thinking where in my 20s and in my early 30s, you do a lot of this magical thinking. You're like, oh, this is a busy quarter. I have lots going on. I'm taking a lot of classes. And so you think I'll prioritize getting in shape or whatever at some other point. This is not what this is about. But then as I've gotten older, I just realized you just have to prioritize it. So you have to do these things at the same time. There's no good time and there's no bad time,
The fact that I'm there and I've shown up and I'm already doing the thing, it's just a lot easier to just do the rest of the things.
It's
So
just
I'm looking at
amazing
it.
what happens when you just say, like, even I'll go with minimal expectations today, like
Yeah.
literally set it at the floor.
Yeah.
And then if you show up, you'd be amazed what happens when you show
Yeah.
up. Then you go, okay, the floor is, I can hit that. Okay, what else?
Really changing that identity to be like, I am someone that shows up, regardless of if I'm in the mood or not. The showing up, the identity, like I am someone that shows up for myself, for my team, and trying to remove the overtraining, the excessiveness, the injuries, the playing through pain, those kind of things. Because our game is really the game of life at this point in time for most of us. And we got to be able to show up for our kids, for our job, for everything. Just physical benefits aside and aesthetic benefits and stuff, like I am a better human being to be around when I do some type of training every day.
At a certain point, I realized as I got older that if I can't take care of myself, that means other people are going to have to take care of me. I didn't want to impress that burden on Sarah or our kids or our extended family or people in our community. I had to say, no, I'm going to make sure that I budget in the time during the week so that I'm taken care of.
Yeah. This is your retirement plan, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Right. We're training to be 80.
One of my favorite early memories when I first started working out at GTS, I was doing hack squats. And I think Luis was training me that day. I was kind of faltering at this hack squat. And Luis said, do you want to be able to use the toilet seat by yourself when you're 90? And I just flew. I just flew on that next squat because it was the motivation I needed. And so that is how we think of it. But the other thing that motivates me and why it's such a priority is I found that lifting has enabled me to do other things. And so, for me personally, I'm really big into yoga. As we've talked about, I've been training to get my yoga teacher certification. And so I've been spending a lot of time in the yoga studio.
Yeah.
I am able to do things in yoga that I wouldn't have been able to do 3 years ago before I started lifting consistently. I feel stronger. I feel better about myself. I have overall more energy. And the way that I carry myself, and when people ask me what I do to take care of myself, and I mention I'm absolutely a girl boss who lifts, that gives me confidence, and it gives other people confidence in me.
For me is health. I just turned 60 this year. For me, it was hard. And I think for the first time, I realized, oh my gosh, I am getting older. But I don't have to feel old, or my body doesn't have to be old. I don't have to have diseases. I don't have to have inflammation. I don't have to have any of that. If I continue to invest in my health with my diet, what I eat, what I put in my body, how I move my body, how I interact with the world, how I create community. So all these things are coming to a head right now at this stage of my life. especially because kids are gone. They're raising themselves now. I don't have to worry too much.
Yeah,
Although I do, they're doing
different
their thing.
type of worry.
There's really no excuse where I really need to. If I want to be living a long, healthy life, I got to do this now. It's almost like there's no more excuses. That's the reason. And not to be thin, to be beautiful, to none of that, because that's all gone. It's really just to feel healthy and strong. That's my goal.
Yeah. And you might have grandkids in the next 10 years. So you got to be ready for them.
Right.
I think about that now. I'm like, I'm barely prepared for my 2-year-old, let alone his kids down the line. I'm like, oh man, I better start training for this. I got like 30 years to prepare for grandkids, right?
Yes.
I had no motivation. Like I said, it was full of excuses. And so once I kind of got over that hump and I was like, okay, I am going to show up and do it. And here is a framework for me to go about it with the master training camp. And I think being signed up for the coaching program gave me X number of days that I was going to come. And one thing I hate is wasting. I'm going to not come for those sessions that I paid for.
Yeah.
So that really helped. Another, I think, is definitely the vibe. Once I walk through those doors, the absolute acceptance from the coaches. They don't care that I hadn't really been doing anything for most of my adult life. And they're so supportive and encouraging. And then the other members at the gym are just so also friendly, helpful, supportive. And it's an absolute component of my social life now to come to the gym and see the other people that I've met and made friends with there.
One of the things we're trying to solve for this year is trying to replicate this in-person community that I think everyone enjoys online and figuring out how can we do this. This whole area is so transient. So we have people come in, out. Initially, our value proposition to them was just our community or whatever, or a place to train. When they leave, it's like, oh man, we just put all this time and effort into each other, learn each other's systems and how we operate and stuff. And now it's just, oh, well, I can't train with you guys anymore. See you later. Kind of like trying to figure out, hey, we can still stay all connected in some way, shape, or form, whether you want to do our programming or you just want to stay involved in the community. I saw this great video the other day, which we kind of have a similar concept in the gym. I use this mountain climbing analogy, right? And the goal is to like never let go of the mountain, right? You climb up, you make some progress. When you get to a point, you hold on instead of letting go and free falling down to the bottom, right? And I heard this beautiful video. It was like a finance guy. And he was saying that most people all have a similar potential. It might be easier, like people have different starting points or whatever, but most people have a similar potential when it comes to like finances and whatnot. And what he was saying is there's a ceiling and a floor. And most people just keep on focusing on increasing the ceiling and then they like fall back down or whatever. And he's like, the key for success is you raising your floor up. So you have less of that swing up and down and more of a tighter box of where that is. And that's pretty much the same thing. When we're climbing the mountain, you anchor in, you hold on for dear life. It doesn't take much energy to hold on to the mountain. It takes a lot to climb it. It's like we were talking about that ability to pivot, right? Because I think a lot of times people associate us with just like the gym. And if I can't make it to the gym, there's no value in this thing. But I think when we have a community and we've got an all-encompassing program that involves, hey, we encourage you to do, like you've got 64, 65 days of consecutive training that weren't all in the gym, right? You did those, you did walks, you did some stretching mobility work. There was like a lot of things that you were doing. And so I think that's the really cool thing too about our circle community, our online community, is just seeing all the different variations of exercise. Because I don't really care if any type of physical training is good with me. I just think it's just good for your mental health, not even just your aesthetics or just the physical benefits aside. Your mental health is just, I'm just a better human being to be around.
I hate having to cancel last minute like that, but I'm like, okay, I guess that's what I've got to do because you're not going to make it back in time. He's like, I can't control the traffic. I'm like, I know, but I'm upset. And so once I accepted the fact that I wasn't going to make it to the gym and I canceled, I was headed home. I'm like, maybe I can get dinner started. And I was passing the track. And I said, I can go to the track. That is within my control. I've been doing sprints at the end of my workouts on the air bike. And I'm like, I've been wanting to try doing it on the track. And so I went and I did a sprint workout in the 30, 40 minutes I had before I needed to go back and pick up my son. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. It's better to start somewhere. It doesn't have to be a perfect program. Just start doing something and start doing it regularly. If you wait for things to be perfect, years can go by. So just do it.
Instead of ready, aim, fire, it's ready, fire, aim. So launch first. I think of it more as a heat-seeking missile versus a bow and arrow, where you got one shot to aim and shoot. I think just getting us moving and then adjusting fire as we go is the way to go.
Like I said, I've had a on and off relationship with fitness for a while now. Before I joined you guys, I was actually at a boxing gym in Manhattan Beach. We definitely built some strength, not like how we do here, but it was just a lot of fun. I wanted to continue that. Unfortunately, my coach passed away, and it was really shocking because we became close because he was super outgoing and I really got consistent, and I just again love boxing. And from there I just was discouraged and I was like, I can't go back there. They didn't really know what they were going to do next, but I still wanted to find that community. So that's how I really found you guys. And then on top of that, I was going to get married, and that was like let's call it the immediate or short-term goal. But I really started that fitness sort of journey with the boxing gym. I guess how you mentioned it is really to find where can I start from? What is that foundation? Because I don't know what I know, right? And one thing that was really incredible for me is learning how to work out. That was great. I started to like just learn the lingo, if you will, of how to work out, keeping track. How data can help, because you might not see it every week physically, but you can see it on paper, which has, I think, been tremendous for me, at least from a consistency standpoint. Now I'm at a point where I'm very consistent. I'm working out or lifting at least 3 times a week, and then going further at home or doing some cardio at home, or even doing the non-coaching time with you guys. For me now, it's how do I continue to elevate so that I do really see those gains that I want? Like everyone, I don't know what everyone's goals are, but like for me from the get-go, it's like, I want to look like an Abercrombie and Fitch model. That's what I want. And that's
Good
it.
goal.
And if I'm not hitting that, what's the point that I'm here?
Yeah.
Obviously, health is huge.
Yeah.
But that's like something that I was like, if I hit that, I'll know at least I'm healthy, because those guys look great. And, I had some friends that were those guys as well. So I think for me, that's the surface level or guilty goal that I have. But ultimately, health is priority for me. And I just want to make sure that I can maintain that.
I remember talking to Jason at what was it, the end of 2023, and then having pushed off even the introduction because I was so busy. I was like at my heaviest. I hadn't trained in years, and I pushed that off. And then I went to a UFC gym, which I used to train Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu at. And they were like, oh yeah, we can do a personal fitness training thing. And then they used calipers and started like pinching my fat around my stomach and my chest. And I'm like, this feels terrible. And to jump on the point where you were talking about the atmosphere, the silver bullet is that community. And GTS did that for me immediately, gave me that opportunity to feel accepted into this family. GTS solved so many of my issues in terms of wanting to find a community, wanting to structure goals, wanting to find something that I enjoy to work towards. But it didn't right away solve my weight management.
In fact, it probably got in the way of your weight management.
In some sense, complicated it a little bit, but it did force me to get really focused about like, well, how do I do these things in like how, and kind of ripped away the illusion that I didn't have to focus on it, that I could, that it would just come if I was just maintained a certain level of activity that would take care of itself. I had to explicitly kind of prioritize it for sure.
I've been with you guys. I was working out before, doing my yoga, and thought I was eating right, and the weight just wasn't coming down. It did come down, and then it just stopped. My body had inflammation. My cholesterol was high, and I have cholesterolemia. No matter what I do, I just make a lot of cholesterol, but that was higher than ever, even with me exercising, with me watching my diet. My hormones were unbalanced. I had a problem with my thyroid. My markers for inflammation were high. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it. Let's do it. She walked me through it. She goes, I won't put you on it if you don't have the right muscle mass. The thing with these drugs is that you will lose weight, period.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I did the test for my muscle mass. She goes, oh, great. But I had already been working with you guys for about a year. She goes, you're a great candidate. Let's start super low. It's tirzepatide. It's the equivalent of Mounjaro. It was just miracle for me from day one. Like I started at a really low dose and I increased it super slowly. I saw the weight coming down, but I had to be very intentional about eating protein. She was very strict about, you got to eat your protein because you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose muscle mass as well. So more than ever, you have to keep going to the gym. You have to keep lifting weights and you have to keep your intake of protein high. And that's what I did. Sure enough, 6 months into it, I did my next blood tests. My cholesterol was down tremendously. Inflammation went, there is no inflammation. My thyroid was great. I reduced my thyroid medication. So everything was working. My cravings were gone. I really did have to make an effort to eat because you're not hungry. So if you are going to eat, you better eat something good. Because if you eat a bag of cookies, that's going to get rid of your hunger. But that's empty calories. So I had to be a lot more intentional about what I was eating, how I was eating, when I was eating. I don't know. It's been life-changing for me. The food noise is gone. But just to see those numbers on my blood tests that told me that it did something for me, that was very exciting to me. The weight loss almost became secondary. And then once I reached my weight that I wanted to reach, and granted, I never went to the high dose that usually people go to. I started at 15, 25, 30, 35 to the 50 was my marker dose. And that's when I stopped. And then I started going down until I really didn't need it. So it's been almost 18 months now.
Yeah.
I feel much stronger in yoga, but also yoga helps me with my strength training because it makes me more mobile, more flexible. It all helps, and I see the benefits. My blood tests are always coming. It's like the best it's ever been in years. My muscle mass, my doctor impressed, like, wow, my bone mass, they're like, you have the bone mass of a 23-year-old. So, and I attribute that to strength training. And she agrees. She goes, yes, you keep doing what you're doing because it's working for your body. So I'm seeing like actual results of what I'm doing when I do it. So you can't stop. The body is a beautiful thing. It really responds beautifully when you treat it well, with diet, with exercise, with love. It really is a beautiful thing. I've learned to appreciate my body so much more than I used to.
The thing that GTS has sort of brought into it is a level of structure and integrity, consistency that has yielded some significant dividends. Like I am way stronger than I used to be. It looked better than I used to.
GTS provided a way to carve out 2 or 3 hours a week. I never felt judged, not defining myself as an athlete. I came in there feeling like everybody's treated the same. I'm no less athletic than somebody who's used to competing. And it's just been very, very accessible. So it's been a great way to fit that into my life. And it's given John and me something to connect over.
Thanks for watching this highlight reel from our first 4 episodes of the GTS podcast. I hope you took away the same thing I did. The training isn't about waiting for the perfect time. It's about finding a way to show up in the middle of real life. If you're here in the Los Angeles, South Bay, Beach Cities area, we'd love to work with you in person. We have 7 reservable training facilities, one-on-one coaching hours, individualized programming, and our 3 to 5 day barbell masterclass for anyone who wants to fast track their training. If you're not local, we also have you covered. We offer remote training, accountability, and nutrition coaching, plus educational resources like books, courses, and other community challenges that help you stay consistent anywhere in the world. You can learn more about us at GameTimeStrength.com. Until next time, remember, the secret isn't to do everything perfectly, it's showing up anyway. See you in the next episode.